Don't trust your eyes so much. They play tricks in the dark. Ah, see that e-waste? Always handy. Toxanol built a lot of bang shelters in the back then, and this one is 7F. Can't stop to wonder if that means something special. How far underground do you think you are? For when you're committed to cutting. This is called suburbia, a place to get away from the city stink. The world is full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Squeeze up and then down. Get the rhythm right. You snap that off, feeling pumped up. It's so dark out. There it is, the tree of life. The idea that all life is related by common descent, where the twigs are existing species and those produced in the past represent the succession of the extinct. The tree's great branches were once budding twigs, a connection between the past, present, and future. A representation of all extinct and living species with its ever-branching and beautiful ramifications. We are an evolution of those that came before. The yerp fields, where the echo of your actions resounds clearer than any other place you'll find, except for where that's not true. This one is Bang Shelter 8F. Wonder how long they held out here. It's not so dark out. It's a cold zone. Even a thick coat of fur is enough to keep you warm here. Getting swole. Ah, some wood scrap. Always happy to find that. Let's see. It's a place well hidden. It's just below the above.
Valu alu hero toluwoya lo yalu batoluyu.
Out of Date's impressed you made it this far, but there's still so much left to do. The end of the world is still on everyone's minds.
Yowotulua.
You've beaten a path where you have the power to destroy or save everyone. Question is, what you'll do with that responsibility.
Valu alu hero. Kuchai hifar befarb.
He can sense that your heart beats steadily and acknowledges that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
Tamuk gabamuktab.
Thinks it's important that you remember who you are and where you came from. Someone without knowledge of their history and origin is like a tree without roots.
Tamuk gabamuktab. Ya yumawa.
What do you think his are? He's the one that's called Out of Date, remember?
Luatolu tum. Iboda kilmok.
Out of Date says there's a time for everything, and now there's no use thinking of the past, for it's gone.
Atu awa ya ya.
Think of the present, because that's where you are. It's time to set your priorities as the one who completes things.
Bilya antuf.
If you continue to do good, good will follow you.
Far kobemako tu far titaba. Befar bihita untukub kirko.
If the world really does end, there won't be anywhere to run. So he's prepared for the worst, something he calls the Ark.
Kotuvon ko kumvun kono, bilfov ugvuhu, obra boom.
He hopes you're right. He gets that you mean the journey continues either way, but personally he wants the tree to survive. Out of Date says there's no clear record of the chain of events that changed the course of history and brought the world to its knees. He's found evidence on the Ark, records of a crisis, decades of contamination that permeated the ground and broke its inner core. The contamination disrupted what we now know as key energy, the life force that runs through all things, living and inanimate. He's been told the blight affected everything at a genetic level and turned our perception of normality on its head. It was only those that changed that avoided extinction, proving that the possibility for survival and renewal was real. He understands you are curious about the ship at the foot of the tree. He says it surfaced when the oil broke through the ground. The Ark predates the back-in days, and now, after years of study of the manuals he found inside, he believes he's figured the ship out. The Ark has room for 4 more, and he trusts you'll apply wisdom to your compassion and choose whom to save if the world comes to end. He'll keep the seats open, and you are free to invite up to 4 others to join you in the Ark in the event of a cataclysm. Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy. He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Noko in the east. Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Noko. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Noko and making sure she gets what she needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date was spot on. The hoof puff needs to be stopped. Out of Date says that Noko is worried now that the Eastern World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Noko keeps a fabled steed that she has planned to ride out to the World Eater, but needs help to get it prepared. Out of Date suggests that you should head east as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He wonders what's on your mind. He says you really need to go see Noko as soon as possible. He wonders what's on your mind. So, says you covered the important things already. The sky is as bright as it's going to be. Check out that plastic scrap over there. That's some sharp wood scrap there. Watch for splinters. Careful you don't slide down the Sprill slope. Maybe Honky can show you the way. Let's see. Nothing like a story with an unexpected ending. Thinks most aren't as lucky as you. The fact that you've survived this long says a lot about how tough a customer you are. You don't have to sell him on that. Figures you let him know what you want and he'll help you figure out what you need. Might be the same. You might be one of the shrewdest customers he's ever met. No one gets to be outfitted as well as you without being a sharp shopper. But what are you going to do with all that gear you've got?
Oh, nazy.
He figures you'll do the best you can with what you've got, and that you can... Wants you to know he's been on the lookout for great deals for you, and he's happy to share them with such a bargain hunter as you. Did you ever have second thoughts about something you bought? Or worse yet, about something you didn't buy? Life's too short to let things you want pass you by. Don't you all? When you figure out the specifics, let him know and he'll see if he can sell it to you. Feels good about the world surviving. All his stuff is in it. Appreciates how you tried to help out around here, even if you didn't buy anything. Thinks you made a good match with the Myriad. He made a lot of green selling them all sorts of things over the years. They're really fond of lights, as you know, but they also buy lots of covers for them. Hard to sleep without them. On to new business. He introduces himself as Honky and says that it's his custom to make everyone he meets a customer. He was born to be a merchant, or maybe it was fate. Regardless, there's nothing... He'll be fine, even if he doesn't turn a profit on you. That's a trade-off he's willing to make, as it's against his policy not to offer you both joy and profit.
Limpimenes amorfi. Isa filon.
Says there isn't anyone fairer left.
Sincamo. Polai. Monacios.
He always...
Sincamo. Flupo Achil.
He'll give you what you need as soon as he's helped you help him collect an insignificant, good-for-nothing item that has sentimental value to him.
Sincamo. Maftukala.
The world is awake. Should have gone for a bigger size. Handy. It feels like an ancient dungeon down here. The useless thing shouldn't be too much of an inconvenience to find, seeing you're out and about. Knew that you were a fair dealer from the day you met. Honky says... Wait till you smell this place at low tide. It's the porky-puff nibbling bark. It took quite a liking to the crunchy stuff after munching down Out-of-Date's leg. Hook the boom ball and tow it beneath the puff. There are places a goo glide can't go. Can you feel it? It's the brisk wind of change. Don't let this opportunity slide. He thanks you for dealing with another world eater. You're halfway there. He's got word Out-of-Date spotted Looper Lupin and has a feeling your time has come. He hopes you're up for it.
Not one thing.
Even though you're good-hearted, you shouldn't miss this opportunity to confront the predator. Just head back to the foot of the tree. Fingers crossed Loopa-Loopin will stay put until you're there. Hunker down or keep marching on. Good work, Captain. That was a wild ride. Blast off! Bet something's up there. Expect to see a few of these around. Looks like the cables need to be replugged in steps to match each sequence in order to generate a buzz strong enough to make things happen. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. A little electroabsorption is enough to catch anyone's. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. A little electroabsorption is enough to catch anyone's attention. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. A little electroabsorption is enough to catch anyone. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. A little electroabsorption is enough to catch anyone. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. A little electroabsorption is enough to catch anyone's attention. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. A little electroabsorption is enough to catch anyone. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. A little electroabsorption is enough to catch anyone's attention. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. You need to replug the cables so each match the sequence. Nice. That rearrangement should be enough to let enough electric current pass through the board. Such a dark night. Gun it and go.